I got kicked out at 19 for stealing my dad's watch. 4 years later, my grandfather called a family meeting and exposed who really took it. 2 years. Hey Reddit. So I got kicked out of my house at 19 on Christmas Eve for allegedly stealing my dad's watch. Spent 4 years living in my car and crashing on couches. Then my grandfather dropped a bomb at his birthday dinner that changed everything. Buckle up because this is about to be the wildest family betrayal story you've read all week. Before I get into the main event, let me give you some context about my family dynamics because this didn't happen in a vacuum. This was years in the making. I'm the older kid. Always was. Jordan, the responsible one. Jordan, the one who never caused problems. Jordan, who got straight A's without being asked. Jordan, who had a part-time job at 16 to pay for his own car insurance. That was me, the good kid, the one who followed rules and met expectations and never made waves. Then there's Ashley, 3 years younger, the baby, the princess, the one who could do no wrong in my parents' eyes even when she was clearly doing wrong. She crashed mom's car when she was 17. Accidents happen. She failed 2 classes sophomore year. School isn't for everyone. She'll find her path. She got caught shoplifting makeup from Target. She's going through a phase. Meanwhile, I got grounded for a week in 8th grade because I forgot to take out the trash. Different standards for different kids. Tale as old as time. The favoritism was so obvious, it would make a reality TV producer blush. Ashley got a brand new MacBook for her 16th birthday. I got a $50 gift card to Best Buy for mine and was told to save up for the rest if you really want a computer. When Ashley wanted to take a summer trip to Europe with her friends, Dad dropped $3,000 without blinking. When I wanted to do a community service trip to help build houses in another state, I was told that was too expensive and I should find something local. I'm not saying I was a perfect kid. Nobody is. But the double standard was so massive you could see it from space. And I learned early on that pointing it out got me nowhere except labeled as jealous or bitter or my personal favorite, ungrateful for everything we've done for you. So by the time I'm 19, I've basically accepted my role as the family's second-class citizen, the spare, the backup plan, the kid they had first and then realized they could do better with the second one. But I kept my head down, worked hard, got into community college on a partial scholarship, was planning to transfer to a 4-year school after getting my basics out of the way, had a whole plan mapped out. Keep working, save money, transfer to state, get my degree, get out of this house and never look back. That was the plan anyway. Let me set the scene for you. It's December 23rd. I'm 19, home from community college for Christmas break. Everything seems normal. Mom's in the kitchen decorating sugar cookies with those little red and green sprinkles she only uses once a year. Ashley, my younger sister who's now 16, is taking approximately 500 selfies by the Christmas tree because apparently her Instagram followers need real-time updates on her outfit from every possible angle. I'm on the couch with my laptop, working on scholarship applications because they're due in January and I'm not about to miss deadlines. Standard holiday stuff. The house smells like cinnamon and pine. There's some generic Christmas music playing on the speakers Dad installed last year. Everything is picture-perfect, normal family Christmas. The kind of scene that looks great in photos but has years of dysfunction lurking just beneath the surface. Then my dad walks into the living room, holding an empty watch box. Just standing there in the doorway, staring at this little velvet box like it personally betrayed him. Where is it? His voice is calm, but there's something underneath it. That tone parents get when they're about to ruin your whole day. I look up from my laptop, confused. Where's what? My watch, he says. The Rolex. It was in my drawer yesterday, and now it's gone. For context, this isn't just any watch. This is a $40,000 white gold GMT Master that my grandfather gave him when he made partner at his law firm. The thing has an engraving on the back and everything. It's not something you just misplace between couch cushions. This watch represents everything my dad values. Success, status, achievement. It's basically his most prized possession aside from maybe his law degree. My mom stops mid-cookie decoration. Ashley puts down her phone, which is honestly the most alarming part because that girl's phone is basically surgically attached to her hand. They both turn and look at me, and just like that, I can feel where this is heading. My stomach drops like I'm on a roller coaster, except this ride is called Your Family Thinks You're a Thief, and there's no height requirement. I haven't touched your watch, I say, sitting up straighter. I didn't even know it was missing. My mom crosses her arms. That's never a good sign. You've been in his office a lot lately. Late at night. What were you doing in there? Printing scholarship applications, I tell her. Which is the truth. The printer in my room is broken. I've been using Dad's. Ashley laughs. Actually laughs. Sure you were. I saw you going through his desk drawers last week. You were definitely looking for something. I wasn't going through anything, I say, my voice getting louder. I was looking for printer paper. That's it. She shrugs like she doesn't believe me, doing that little head tilt thing she does when she's about to say something annoying. If you say so. My dad's face hardens. The lawyer face. The face that wins courtroom arguments and intimidates opposing counsel. This isn't a joke, Jordan. That watch is worth more than your car. If you took it, you need to tell me now. I didn't take it, I repeat, looking him straight in the eye. I swear I didn't touch it. My mom shakes her head, and I can see the disappointment already settling in. You've always been secretive, always hiding things. Now this. What does that even mean? I've always been secretive. I'm literally the most boring, predictable kid ever. I go to school, go to work, come home, do homework, repeat. That's my whole life. There's nothing secretive about it. Ashley decides to add more fuel to the fire because apparently we're having a full family roast session now. He's probably trying to sell it for cash. You know he's been talking about starting some business thing. I had mentioned wanting to start a small car detailing service. Once, at dinner 3 months ago. But sure, let's turn that into a motive for grand theft. My dad stares at me for what feels like an hour but is probably only 30 seconds. Then he says the words that change my entire life, pack your things. You're not staying here anymore. I actually think he's bluffing at first. Like this is some tough love parenting tactic where he's going to scare me into a confession I can't give because I didn't do anything. But he's not bluffing. He just stands there, arms crossed, waiting for me to move. My mom doesn't say anything to stop him. Ashley actually smirks when I try to defend myself again. When I look at her, she quickly pretends to check her phone. My dad points toward the stairs. Now. I go upstairs and pack one duffel bag. Clothes, laptop, charger, toothbrush, the essentials for becoming suddenly homeless. I can hear them downstairs talking in low voices, probably discussing what a disappointment I turned out to be. Probably already writing their, "Where did we go wrong?" speech. As I'm packing, I keep thinking this has to be some kind of mistake. Some misunderstanding that will get cleared up any minute. Someone will realize how absurd this is. Someone will stand up for me. Nobody does. When I come back down with my bag, my dad hands me $100. That's all you're getting. It's Christmas Eve. Snow is coming down hard outside. The kind of snow that makes everything look pretty in movies, but is actually just cold and miserable in real life. I sit in my car in a grocery store parking lot for 2 hours, trying to figure out where to go. The heater barely works, so I'm sitting there in my jacket, watching my breath fog up the windows, wondering how my life went from normal to this in the span of an hour. I call my friend Tyler. It's almost midnight. I'm about to hang up because who wants to deal with someone else's family drama on Christmas Eve? But he answers. Dude, what's up? I explain the situation. Keep it brief. Got kicked out, need a place to crash, just for tonight. He doesn't even hesitate. Come over. Mom's already asleep, but she won't care. Door's unlocked. Eventually, I drive to Tyler's house. His parents let me sleep on their couch for a few nights, no questions asked. Bless them. Tyler's mom, Jennifer, makes me pancakes the next morning like it's totally normal that her son's friend is homeless now. She doesn't pry, doesn't demand explanations, just makes food and tells me I'm welcome to stay as long as I need. But I know I can't stay long. Their house is small. They're already stretching their budget to feed their own family. I'm not going to be a burden. The next few months are what I can only describe as survival mode. I bounce between couches when friends' parents feel charitable. I sleep in my car when I run out of options, which is more often than you'd think. Nobody wants a house guest who overstays their welcome, even when that house guest is a 19-year-old kid who got thrown out on Christmas. Let me tell you about sleeping in your car in winter. It's not like in movies where someone has a sleeping bag and wakes up with perfect hair. It's freezing. Your car becomes a metal coffin that somehow makes the cold worse. I'd run the engine for 15 minutes every couple hours just to warm up, but I couldn't afford to waste gas, so I'd turn it off and try to sleep in layers of all the clothes I owned. I parked in different grocery store lots, 24-hour fitness centers, hospital parking garages, anywhere security wouldn't immediately kick me out. I learned that Friday and Saturday nights were the worst, because that's when cops patrol parking lots looking for people like me. Sunday mornings were the best because everyone was at church and nobody cared about a car sitting in the back of a lot. I'd wake up at 6 a.m., foggy windows hiding me from view, and use the gym membership I couldn't really afford to shower and get ready for work. The gym staff definitely knew what I was doing, but as long as I kept paying the $30 monthly fee, they didn't say anything. I pick up shifts at an auto shop during the day. Some guy named Ray owns it. He's in his 60s, doesn't ask a lot of questions, pays cash when times are tight. I deliver food at night. I'm working 70-hour weeks just to keep myself fed and my car running. There's no room for school right now. No room for a social life. Just work, sleep, repeat. I'm living off of peanut butter sandwiches and whatever expired food the grocery stores throw out that I can grab from the dumpsters behind them. I'm not proud of it, but when you're choosing between food and gas money, pride becomes a luxury you can't afford. My Aunt Beatrice finally tracks me down through a mutual friend about 2 months after I got kicked out. She's my mom's older sister, the one who never quite fit into the family because she was too opinionated and didn't respect tradition or whatever. Turns out those are actually good qualities in a person. She shows up at the auto shop one day, just walks in and asks Ray if Jordan works there. When I come out from the garage, wiping grease off my hands, she takes one look at me and I can see her face change. I must look rough. I've lost weight. My clothes are the same ones I've been wearing for weeks because doing laundry costs money I don't have. I probably smell like a combination of engine oil and defeat. She doesn't say anything at first, just walks over and hugs me. I almost cry right there in the middle of Ray's auto shop, but I manage to hold it together. "You're coming home with me," she says. No arguments. I try to argue anyway. "I'm fine," I tell her. "I've got it under control." She laughs, but it's not a mean laugh. "Jordan, you're living in your car. I can see the sleeping bag in your back seat. You look like you haven't eaten a real meal in weeks." This is not under control. She gives me her spare bedroom, helps me get a steady job at her friend's garage, and becomes the closest thing to real family I have. No judgment, no conditions, just help. The way family is actually supposed to work. The first night I sleep in a real bed again, I cry. I'm not even embarrassed about it. I lie there in Aunt Beatrice's spare room with clean sheets and a warm blanket and cry like a little kid because I forgot what comfort felt like. Aunt Beatrice doesn't mention it the next morning, just makes me breakfast and hands me a list of job openings at better garages than the one I've been working at. I don't talk to my parents. They don't reach out. Radio silence? Ashley posts pictures on social media of family dinners and holiday celebrations. I'm not in any of them. My mom captions them, grateful for the family we have, like I never existed. Like I'm some distant cousin they met once at a wedding, not her son who she helped raise for 19 years. The weirdest part is how easy it is for them to just erase me. No phone calls checking if I'm alive, no texts asking where I'm staying. Nothing. It's like those 19 years just got deleted from their memory. But you know what? I start to realize that maybe getting kicked out was them doing me a favor. Maybe I needed to get away from that toxic mess. Maybe I needed to learn who I actually am without constantly being compared to Ashley and coming up short. 2 years pass. I save everything I make. Every single dollar that isn't going to rent I'm now paying Aunt Beatrice or food goes into my savings account. I'm obsessive about it. I check my account balance like some people check social media. I start a small car flipping business on the side. Nothing fancy. I buy broken down cars from people who don't want to deal with them, fix them up in Aunt Beatrice's garage, and sell them for profit. It's slow going at first. I lose money on my first car because I underestimate the repair costs. But I learn. I watch YouTube videos. I ask Ray for advice. I start to get good at it. The first car I flip for profit is a 1998 Toyota Camry. Some lady selling it for $800 because it won't start. I spend 3 days diagnosing it. Turns out it's just a bad starter and some corroded battery cables. $150 in parts, $1,000 profit when I sell it. That profit feels better than anything ever has. I do it again. And again. After 8 months, I've flipped 12 cars. I'm getting a reputation. People start calling me directly. "Hey, I heard you fix cars. You interested in this Honda I've got?" I'm making decent money. Not rich by any means, but stable. I have savings. I have a goal. I'm going to save enough to get my own place, go back to school, build something real. Then I get a call from my grandfather, Frank. He's turning 72 and wants me at his birthday dinner. Says the whole family will be there. I almost say no. The thought of walking back into that house makes my stomach hurt. Makes me feel like that 19-year-old kid getting thrown out all over again. But Frank is the only one who sent me birthday cards after I got kicked out. The only one who acted like I still mattered. He's called me a few times over the years, never pushing, just checking in, making sure I'm okay. So I tell him I'll be there. The night of the dinner, I drive to my parents' house for the first time in 4 years. My car is still old, but it runs better now because I actually know how to fix things. It's clean inside and out. I made sure of that. If I'm going back there, I'm going back looking like I didn't just crawl out of the gutter. I park on the street and just sit there for a minute, looking at the house I grew up in. Same white siding, Same black shutters. Same perfectly maintained lawn that my dad obsesses over every summer. It looks exactly the same, like time stopped the day I left. I walk up to the front door and ring the bell like I'm a guest instead of someone who used to live here. My mom answers. Her smile fades the second she sees me, like someone just told her the dinner got burned. Jordan, she says, the way you might greet a distant acquaintance. You came. Grandpa invited me, I reply, stepping inside before she can change her mind. The house looks exactly the same. Same furniture. Same pictures on the walls, though I notice there are fewer of me now. They didn't even bother taking them all down. Just removed the ones where I was the main focus and kept the family group shots where I'm easier to ignore. There's still one photo of all four of us at some beach when I was maybe 12. I'm half hidden behind Ashley in that one, so I guess it made the cut. Ashley is in the living room with some friends. When she sees me, she whispers something to the girl next to her. They both laugh. Real mature, Ashley. You're 20 now. Maybe act like it. My dad gives me a stiff nod from across the room. That's it. Just a nod. Like I'm a coworker he's not particularly fond of. Not his son he kicked out 4 years ago on Christmas Eve. More family members arrive. Aunts, uncles, cousins. Some of them hug me, genuinely happy to see me. Others give me these weird looks like they're not sure if they're supposed to acknowledge me or not. I can tell my parents have been controlling the narrative. Probably told everyone I stole something and had to leave. Or maybe that I ran away. Who knows what story they've been selling? Dinner is tense as hell. We all sit around the long dining room table. I'm squeezed between Cousin Nathan and Aunt Marie, as far from my immediate family as the table allows. People make small talk about weather and jobs and sports teams. Nobody addresses what happened. Nobody asks where I've been living or how I survived. It's like we all agreed to pretend the past 4 years didn't happen. Ashley keeps making little comments throughout dinner, just loud enough for me to hear, but quiet enough that she can deny it if called out. Guess some people never change. Still driving that same old car, huh? Must be nice having no responsibilities. That last one almost makes me laugh. No responsibilities. Right. Because working 70-hour weeks and building a business from nothing while living in your car is having no responsibilities. Sure, Ashley. Tell me more about responsibility from your nice, comfortable bedroom in mom and dad's house that you still live in rent-free. I bite my tongue. Literally bite it. Because I didn't come here to start a fight. I came here for Grandpa Frank. Then Grandpa Frank stands up. He taps his glass with his fork, and the room goes quiet. Everyone turns to look at him, expecting the usual birthday speech. Thanks for coming. Grateful for family. Getting older isn't so bad. That kind of thing. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. He starts, his voice steady. Birthdays are a time for reflection, for thinking about family, about what matters. Standard birthday speech so far. My mom is smiling. My dad is nodding approvingly. Ashley is checking her phone under the table. 4 years ago, Frank continues, something valuable went missing from this house. The room temperature drops about 20 degrees. My mom's smile freezes. My dad sits up straighter. Ashley suddenly becomes very interested in her plate. Phone forgotten. My son's watch, Frank says, looking around the room. A $40,000 Rolex that I gave him when he made partner. My grandson Jordan was accused of taking it. He was thrown out on Christmas Eve because his family believed he was a thief. You could hear a pin drop. Someone's fork clinks against their plate, and it sounds like a gunshot in the silence. He pauses, looking around the room. Recently, I did some digging, talked to some people. I couldn't let this go. I couldn't sit back and watch my grandson get treated like a criminal when something didn't add up. Frank pulls out a folder from under his chair, sets it on the table in front of him like he's presenting evidence in court. My dad tenses. He recognizes that gesture. He does the same thing when he's about to destroy someone's case. A young woman came into a pawn shop downtown 3 days after Christmas, Frank says, flipping open the folder. Nervous, talking fast, desperate for cash, sold a white gold Rolex GMT Master for $18,000, which is less than half what it's worth, but she was in a hurry. She needed money, and she needed it quick. He pulls out what looks like paperwork, holds it up so people can see there's actual documentation here. This isn't speculation. The transaction was logged. The paperwork had a name on it. Required by law. The serial number matched. The engraving matched. It was the same watch. My mom has gone pale. My dad looks like he's been punched. Frank looks directly at Ashley. The person who sold that watch was Ashley. Ashley's face goes from pink to white, faster than I've ever seen someone lose color. Her hands grip the edge of the table so tight her knuckles match her face. She took it to cover her boyfriend's gambling debts. The boyfriend she's been secretly supporting for 3 years. The same boyfriend who's been bleeding her dry financially, which is why she still lives at home rent-free despite claiming to have a job. The same boyfriend who convinced her that stealing from her family was a reasonable solution to his problem. He turns back to my parents. The person who sold your watch was sitting right here at this table all along, while you threw out your innocent son, while you let him sleep in his car in winter, while you erased him from your lives like he never existed. My mom makes a noise like she's been punched. My dad just stares at the papers on the table like they're written in a language he doesn't understand. Ashley opens her mouth, closes it, opens it again. Nothing comes out. What can she say? Frank has receipts, literal receipts. I have copies of the pawn transaction. Frank continues, placing more papers on the table. I have the testimony from the shop owner, who remembers her clearly because she was so nervous she dropped the watch twice before getting it on the counter. I have text messages between Ashley and her boyfriend from that week, discussing the money and what to say if anyone asked. And I have bank records showing she deposited $18,000 in cash the same week the watch went missing. Some of the relatives are whispering now. Cousin Nathan next to me mutters something under his breath. I catch the words unbelievable and that poor kid. Frank turns to my dad. Your son has been innocent this entire time, living in his car, working himself to death, building a life from nothing, while you did nothing to help him, nothing to investigate, nothing to support him. You believed the person who actually stole from you, and you punished the wrong child based on nothing but assumptions and favoritism. The silence in that room is deafening. You could hear someone breathing. You could hear someone thinking. Ashley starts crying. Not the genuine kind of crying, the manipulative kind. The kind she's been using her whole life to get out of trouble. The kind that's always worked on mom and dad before. I was desperate, she sobs, and I can already see it happening. She's going to play the victim. She's going to make this about her. I didn't know what else to do. Tyler was going to get hurt if we didn't pay. I made a mistake. You didn't make a mistake, Frank says coldly, and I'm surprised by the steel in his voice. I've never heard him sound like this. You made a choice. You chose to steal. You chose to frame your brother. You chose to stay silent for 4 years while he suffered. Those weren't mistakes. Those were decisions. He looks at my parents. And you two chose to believe her without question. Chose to throw out your son without investigating. Chose to cut him off completely instead of at least checking to make sure he was okay. You all chose this. My mom finally finds her voice. Ashley, is this true? Ashley just keeps crying, which is basically an admission of guilt. My mom reaches for her, maternal instinct kicking in even now. I stand up. Everyone looks at me, probably expecting some big dramatic speech. Some I told you so moment, or an angry rant about how they ruined my life. But I don't say anything. There's nothing to say that would make this better or worse. Frank already said everything that needed to be said. The truth is out. That's enough for me. I walk toward the door. Behind me, I can hear my mom trying to talk to Ashley through her fake crying. I can hear my dad starting to raise his voice. I can hear Frank calmly explaining that he has more evidence if anyone wants to see it. I can hear relatives whispering, phone calls being made to other family members who couldn't make it tonight. This is going to spread through the family like wildfire. By tomorrow, everyone will know. My parents' reputation, the thing they care about most, is about to take a major hit. I get to my car and sit in the driver's seat. The same car I slept in for months. The same car that's now paid off and running better than ever, because I learned how to fix it myself. The same car Ashley made fun of earlier tonight. My phone buzzes. It's a text from Frank. Come by tomorrow. We should talk. I text back. Thanks for the truth. He responds immediately. Should have done it sooner. I'm sorry it took me this long. As I drive away, I feel weird. Not happy exactly, not angry, just relieved, vindicated. For 4 years, I've carried around this weight, this knowledge that I was innocent, but nobody believed me. Now they know. Now everyone knows. The funny thing is, I don't need their apology. I don't need them to beg me to come back. I already built a new life. I already learned who really cared about me and who was just playing favorites. My phone starts ringing before I even make it to the highway. It's my dad. I let it go to voicemail. Then my mom calls. Voicemail. Then my dad again. Voicemail. A text from Ashley pops up. Please let me explain. I don't even read the rest. Just block her number right there at a red light. More calls from my parents. I turn my phone on silent and drive back to Aunt Beatrice's house, where I still keep a room even though I can afford my own place now. She made me promise to stay until I had enough saved for a really good apartment, not just the first cheap thing I could find. She wanted me to have options, to have a cushion, to not be one emergency away from living in my car again. When I pull up, she's on the porch with coffee. It's 9 p.m., but she's always been a night owl. She's sitting in her favorite chair, the one with the cushion that's seen better days, and she's got 2 mugs waiting. "How'd it go?" she asks as I sit down next to her. "Grandpa Frank exposed Ashley," I say, taking the coffee she offers. "She's the one who took the watch. Been lying for 4 years." Beatrice doesn't look surprised, just nods slowly, sipping her coffee. Always knew that girl was trouble. Too pretty, too spoiled, too used to getting away with everything. We sit in silence for a minute, the kind of comfortable silence you can only have with people who actually give a damn about you. "They're going to want you to come back," Beatrice says eventually. "Want to make amends?" I know. What are you going to do? I think about it. Really think about it. 4 years ago, I would have killed for them to realize their mistake. Would have done anything to hear them say they were sorry. But now I've built something they had no part in. I survived something they put me through. I became someone better than they ever gave me credit for. "Nothing," I finally say. "I'm not going back. I'm not playing happy family." They made their choice 4 years ago. Beatrice nods. "Good. They don't deserve you." My phone buzzes with another call. My dad again. I decline it and take another sip of coffee. "Think they'll keep trying?" I ask. "Oh, they'll definitely keep trying," Beatrice says. "Guilt is a powerful thing, especially when other people know what they did. Frank made sure everyone at that party knows they threw out an innocent kid. Their reputation is damaged now. They'll want to fix it. By apologizing to me? By trying to," she corrects. Whether it's a real apology or just damage control remains to be seen. She's right. Over the next few days, I get approximately 50 calls from my parents. Text messages saying we need to talk. Voicemails that start with "please just listen" and end with "we made a mistake." My dad leaves a voicemail that says, "Son, we need to discuss this. Come home." Like I'm gonna just forget 4 years of my life because he finally realized he screwed up. My mom sends a long text about how they're processing what they learned and want to work through this as a family. As a family. That's rich. We stopped being a family the second they chose Ashley's word over mine, without even investigating. Ashley sends me an email because I blocked her number. The subject line is, "I'm so sorry." I delete it without reading. Whatever she has to say, I don't care. She had 4 years to come clean. 4 years to tell the truth. She chose to stay silent and let me suffer. 2 weeks after Frank's dinner, my dad shows up at the garage where I work. He just walks in while I'm under a Honda Civic, trying to fix a transmission leak. Ray gives me a heads up from across the shop. "Someone here to see you." "Jordan," my dad says. "We need to talk." I slide out from under the car and look at him. He's wearing his work suit. Probably came here during lunch break. He looks tired. Older than I remember. There are new lines around his eyes, gray in his hair that wasn't there before. "No, we don't," I say, standing up and wiping my hands on my work pants. The grease doesn't come off, but I'm used to that by now. "I made a mistake," he starts, and I can already tell this is going to be his lawyer voice, the one he uses to negotiate settlements. "We made a mistake. We should have investigated more. Should have listened to you. You should have believed me," I correct. "I'm your son. I told you I didn't take the watch. You threw me out anyway." "Ashley was convincing," he says. Like that's an excuse. "She seemed so sure you had taken it. She had an explanation for everything. So you believed her over me because she's a better liar?" I shake my head. "That doesn't make it better, Dad. That makes it worse. That means you're admitting you chose her word over mine for no reason except favoritism." He shifts uncomfortably. My dad, the big shot lawyer who never shows weakness in court, looks uncomfortable. "We're your parents. We were trying to do what we thought was right. You were trying to protect your favorite kid," I say flatly. "Just like you always do. And I paid the price. What can I do to make this right?" he asks, and I can hear the desperation in his voice now. "Nothing," I say. "There's nothing you can do. You can't give me back those 4 years. Can't give me back the nights I slept in my car in winter. Can't give me back the meals I skipped because I had to choose between food and gas. Can't give me back the friendships I lost because I was too busy surviving to maintain them. You can't undo what you did." "I want to try," he says. "Please, come home. We can start over. Your room is still there. We can work through this." I almost laugh. My room is still there. Like that's supposed to mean something. Like having a room means anything when the people in the house threw me out without a second thought. "I'm not coming home," I tell him. "I have a home. I have a life. I built it without you. And I don't need you now." "Jordan, did you know I flipped my first car 3 months after you kicked me out?" I interrupt. "Bought a totaled Honda Accord for $500. Fixed it up. Sold it for $3,000. Taught myself from YouTube videos. because I couldn't afford proper training. Did that completely alone. No help from anyone except Aunt Beatrice giving me a place to work. He doesn't say anything. I've flipped 23 cars now, I continue. I have clients who call me directly. I have money saved. I have skills. I built a business from nothing while you all moved on like I never existed. Why would I come back now? Because we're family, he says quietly. No, I reply. Family doesn't do what you did. Aunt Beatrice is family. Grandpa Frank is family. You and Mom and Ashley, you're just people I used to know. His face crumples a little. Jordan, please. Ashley cost you a $40,000 watch, I say, getting back under the Honda. But you cost yourself a son. Think about which one is more valuable. I hear his footsteps walking away, hear the shop door open and close. Ray comes over a minute later. Everything good? He asks. Yeah, I say, focusing on the transmission leak. Everything's good. And the weird thing is, I mean it. Everything actually is good. I have a job I'm good at. I have savings. I have a small but growing side business. I have Aunt Beatrice and Grandpa Frank. I have friends who let me crash on their couches when I needed it and never asked for anything in return. I don't have my parents. I don't have Ashley. But honestly, I don't think I ever really had them to begin with. 3 months after Frank's dinner, I close on my first apartment. Nothing fancy. Just a one-bedroom in a decent neighborhood with parking for my work vehicles. But it's mine. I earned every single dollar that went into the security deposit and first month's rent. Aunt Beatrice helps me move in. So does Tyler, who let me sleep on his couch all those years ago. So does Ray from the garage. Frank shows up with a housewarming gift, a brand new toolbox for my car business. Proud of you, kid, he says, putting his hand on my shoulder. You did good. Better than good. You did this right. My parents don't know I moved. I haven't told them anything about my life. They're basically strangers now. Strangers who happen to share my DNA. I hear through the family grapevine that things have gotten bad for them. The story spread fast. Everyone knows now that they threw out their innocent son and protected the guilty daughter. Family gatherings are awkward. People take sides. Most people seem to be on mine, which probably makes every holiday dinner uncomfortable as hell for them. Ashley finally moved out of their house. Apparently, the boyfriend with the gambling problem left her when she couldn't give him any more money. Shocking absolutely no one. She's working retail now, living with roommates, finally dealing with real life. My mom apparently cries about both her kids being gone. My dad apparently works longer hours to avoid being home. I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel good about their suffering either. I just feel nothing. Neutral. They're people I used to know who made choices that pushed me out of their lives. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.